Hey, you guys, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I hope everyone had a great weekend. We had a busy weekend and I'm exhausted, you guys. I came home from church and took a nap and did not want to get up because I was so exhausted. Either way, despite it being the weekend, Team Mom News doesn't stop. As you guys know, if you're keeping up with the Caitlin and Tyler situation, they put their life out there, so they get a lot of opinions. And there was a recent opinion that Tyler obviously came across um, where people say things like, why don't you pay attention to the kids that you have at home? Um, why do y'all seem so focused on Carly? So Tyler made a video to kind of show, like, hey guys, y'all don't see everything in our life, and we actually do a lot. Like for the three girls that we have at home, we're actually like all about them. We do the most with them. You guys only see like what MTV wants you to see because they film us doing things with the kids, but they just seem to put up more of us talking about Carly. So that's what you guys get to see, but we actually are very involved with our three kids at home. So to kind of show the fans, followers, viewers, whoever that they have this whole life that we don't get to see that is them tending to their kids. He posted a video. It's like a vlog that he posted, and we'll watch that. It got some backlash of people saying, like, where is Cate? Because the video that he posted was like, rather than a day in the life, it was like a morning, like spend the morning with Tyler, like as he gets the kids ready for school. So he posted this cute little video. I thought it was cute, and I thought, wow, that's insane that Tyler is like getting up, making breakfast, and he knows how to curl those girls' his hair. And listen, Sean can do all the same things, and he does. Sean like is getting better with the ponytail, but like sometimes, depending on where we're going, I'll fix it. Like if we're going somewhere and he'll bring my daughter in here and like her hair is done, I'm like, let me check. My husband's getting better. But a lot of guys don't do that. Like a lot of guys, they leave that kind of stuff up to the mom, right? But Tyler, he does all those things because him and Cate, they do kind of work from home. Their job is the show, Teen Mom, where they film a few months out of the year so they can be at home. They run their social media accounts that they make money off that. And Tyler just become certified to be a what's it called? Personal trainer. Tyler just shared that he got his certification to be a personal trainer, right? So now he's going to be doing that, which will take him out of the house, obviously. He'll go to the gym and other people's houses or whatever. But, the majority of their work is like in house, in their home. So him and Cate, they kind of do things in shifts. Either way, he posted this really cute little video. We're going to watch it. And people was like, where is Cate? I bet Cate is sleeping. Like, why isn't Cate helping you? And so then he responded. He just did an Instagram live this morning, just saying, like, dude, like, you can't win for losing, You guys like say all we do is focus on Carly. I show y'all a video of me getting the kids ready, and then y'all are like, where's Cate? So we're gonna watch, let's see, some of the videos that he put up. I have to keep the music off because YouTube. So this is him up. First off, listen, he might have been cooking eggs, but all I saw was sausage right there. I ain't even lying. Y'all, tell me if y'all know about this or if your husband knows about this. And this is going to be a little inappropriate, but you guys are my friend, my family, I literally treat y'all like y'all are my friends, not going to lie. But my husband did not know about this. I had to make him aware of it. Y'all tell me if y'all know about this and if your husband's aware of it. So listen, we are classy ladies over here on this channel, but I do know about the pecker checker. Okay. I don't remember who introduced me, like pecker checker, So I am very aware that when, you're walking around, like at the gym, Walmart, if men are wearing like a certain type of shorts, pants, like the same way men like glance at women's boobs, like, sometimes it's just like if it's kind of poke, I'm probably gonna get so much hate for this. I'm being transparent and I just want to know if you guys know about this, okay? Hey Miss Leah. Miss Lisa. I thought that's a Miss Lee. I'm like, oh, hey, Miss Lisa. So, okay. I don't even remember like how I found out about, women being pecker checkers. But I'm like, we kind of are. Like, because I know I've done that before. Like, I'd be walking somewhere and I see a guy and he's wearing like grave sweatpants. And I'm like, oh my God, I just checked his pecker and it's there, um, so then I'm like, yeah, we are kind of pecker checkers. No, nothing nasty. It's just in the same sense where guys, if a girl walks around and she's wearing like a low cut shirt, a guy might be like, or if she's got big boobs, a guy might be like, oh gosh, dang it, I'm not trying to check her boobs out, but they were just there. So it's kind of the same thing. Sean never knew about that. I had to tell him because he want to walk around in shorts. I'm like, you can't wear those out the house. He's like, what? I'm like, there's pecker checkers out there. He's like, what do you mean pecker checkers? I'm like, pecker checkers. There's women out there that if they see you in those shorts, they're going to be pecker checking you really fast. To the gym, like you can't wear gray sweats at the gym. Like no, don't want the pecker checkers checking you out. So now Sean knows about it. But either way, so I showed Sean this video. I was like, babe, come watch this video. Tyler's like, come watch this video of Tyler. So I play it. Hold on, I'm gonna start it over. I play it, right? And now because my husband knows about it, I think so. He was like, oh my God. He's like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. He don't know that that's happening. I'm like, no, he might not. But I'm like, Sean, did you know about it before I told you? He's like, oh, you're right. You're right. I actually did not know about it. So maybe he don't know about it. So maybe Tyler needs to be aware that like he just brought out the pecker checkers. Okay. He literally just brought out the pecker checkers. Thank you, Rocka. I appreciate you. I've been married 30 years, but definitely check out. Oh, hey, Cecilia. Is it Cecilia? So anyways, when I watched that, I was like, does Tyler not know? Caitlin, tell your man about pecker checkers. He got all the pecker checkers out there on Instagram this morning. But look at the comment. Nobody else is going to mention it. Congratulations, girl. Look, it looked at me first. But then I felt bad because I'm like, this is a very wholesome video. Like he's being a father, right? He's feeding his kids. Like, oh, where's Katie? She okay? Get the hot dog out of my face, please. That's kind of how I felt. I felt, what's it called? Like, harassed or something. I don't know. I was like, quit swinging that thing over this way, Tyler. Anyways, I just because I knew y'all were gonna see it. If I seen it, I'm like, surely y'all seen it swinging around like I did. Anyways, the video is wholesome. Let's continue. Okay, so he's making breakfast for his kids. Sean, I was like, is he wearing underwear? Because it don't look like it. Anyways, so here's where it gets wholesome. He's getting his little girls up. I love it. So he made them breakfast. He's cooking breakfast, bringing them their breakfast, and he's got their dressed. He's brushing their hair, and while he's recording right now, he's not every morning. So I'm sure during this time where he's doing their hair, he's talking to them and they're listening to a song on the way to school, and she's having a blast. She loves this song, and look at her, love it. So he in the mornings, he gets his time with the girls where he hangs out with them and he's like, see guys, y'all think all we do is sit around and talk about Carly. We don't. For everybody saying, take care of the 3 kids that you have at home. We do. Like, who do you guys think? Here's another one. I'm like, I know he was cooking eggs, but all I saw was sausage in that video. Oh, look at y'all. Look at. I'm gonna have to get one for Sean, teach him how to use it so he can do my hair. I said, yet they say you spend no time with your kids y'all have at home. I wonder who's raising them then. Love seeing this. I'm sure the girls love having a routine like this because this is their routine, right? Tyler talked about this on an episode of the podcast. He said he is a morning person. He wakes up early anyways. So he gets up and that's his time with the girls, him getting them ready for school, them feeding them breakfast, him doing their hair. And then he takes them to school. And that's, he gets to enjoy that time with them. Whereas Cate, she's not a morning person. She is an evening person. So in the evenings, she, does their, bath time and brushing their teeth. And, they have dinner together. And he's like, so we literally, like, all we have is our kids. Like, yeah, we are very much involved with our kids. Just because you guys hear us talking about Carly a lot or talking about Brandon and Teresa and the adoption on the show doesn't mean that's all we do, right? Either way, okay, here's one comment. Why doesn't her mom get her ready? Oh, she's probably sleeping. So there were some comments about like, where is Cate? Why is Cate helping you? So he went live on Instagram this morning and he talked a little bit about it. He talked about how people think, they don't have anything to do with the other kids. He also talked about how when they speak about adoption now, like he's like, stop associating us talking about adoption to us talking about our adoption. Because, we're going to be talking about adoption, but we're not always going to be talking about our situation. We're just trying to educate people as well. He also talks about how he got so much praise for the video. Everybody was like, way to go, Tyler, way to go, Tyler. He was like, but if Cate would have uploaded that video of her doing the girls' morning routine, nobody would have said anything. It would have been like, oh, normal morning, Cate, get the kids off to school. He said, but because I did it, it's like this big, like, praise. So we're going to watch this video together, you guys. I thought it was interesting. You guys let me know if you can hear it. Oh, also, if you don't want to watch the video with me, it will be uploaded on my channel after this. I will upload just the video. It is 25 minutes and 39 seconds. So if you don't want to watch it with me where I stop and commentate after this video, I will upload it. You can watch just the video where there's no commentary on it.
I just wanted to get on here and kind of just, I appreciate everyone's support, and it's been really nice to see. Obviously, with there's been so much negativity out there lately, so it's just nice to see. That's why I figured, I was like, people have this opinion or whatever that we don't focus on other kids, and I don't know, it's just all these weird things I'm seeing. I'm like, you know what? And then everyone's like, people do these daily vlog things, and I'm like, I've never been a vlogger, so I don't know what the hell that's all about. But I was like, well, I'll just film my morning routine. And I don't know, I just like all the comments I got it was just really nice and uplifting and positive. And but a part of me was kind of like, wow, like I didn't realize how many dads aren't really that involved, or husbands. I mean, people were commenting all this stuff, and I was like, dang, man, like, I don't know, it's sad, to be honest. I had people, instant messaging me saying that they feel like they're a single married mom, and I'm like, I never heard that term before, single married mom. I'm like,
I can say I felt that way when my husband was deployed, obviously. That's what I was. When my husband was deployed, I was a single married mom because he was gone for 6 months, home 2 weeks, gone for 6 months again, had 2 children, single married mom. But there are moms out there that the husband is home every day, every evening, and he's just like, I know some. Like, I have family that, like, her husband would come home from work. She had to have dinner cooked. He would come in, go use the bathroom, go to the recliner, take his boots off, get the remote. She needed to bring him his food. And when they split up, when she left, he didn't even know where his clothes were. Like, he had to call her to be like, where's my drawers at? Like, which drawer's my socks in? Like, where's my nice shirts? Like, he knew nothing. Like, his mama had to step back in to take care of him because this man knew nothing. So there are some men that their wives, that's like, I'm not going to change a diaper. I'm not going to wake up in the middle of the night to feed the baby that's crying. Like, no, that's all you. I'm thankful that like Sean has never been one of those. Even when Sean worked offshore, when he came in from his time offshore, he would jump right into doing anything I would do. Like, gotta go to Walmart. Okay, I'll go. I'll take the kids. You coming? Like, praise God, because I couldn't even imagine if I had one of those men that's like, no, you do bath time. No, you do diapers. No, I don't feed babies. Oh, you ain't no problem making one, so you can feed them.
That's different. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that that was kind of interesting. And then honestly, the comments about like where's Cate and stuff like that stuff really just was like, what is going on? I think the society's like idea of dads not being able to like, you know, do their daughter's hair or get them ready for school. It's just weird. It's like you never would see it. If Cate posted a video of her doing the same thing, no one would be asking where's the dad or where's your husband or whatever. So I think that's like we gotta work on that because that's
true.
that's weird.
It's very true.
But yeah, I just dropped all the girls off at school, and so I figured I'd jump on here and just
Apparently,
say how much I appreciate everybody's support. And I tell you what, there were some comments that got me literally choked up, like emotional, because there was comments from women saying, "Oh my God, like I remember my dad used to brush my hair in the morning for school, and I really miss him." And I'm like, oh my God, like they're talking about their dad being, you know, passed on, and that that video reminded them of their dad doing that for them. And oh my God, I was like, dude, this is, it's killing me.
Very sad.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you guys, I mean, I'll figure out, I'd do a couple more and just kind of show you guys the other side of our life that they don't like, MTV doesn't come here and show all this stuff. They don't show, you know, me taking the girls to gymnastics. They don't show, you know, Cate taking Nova to do all her cheer stuff. They don't really focus on any of that stuff. They didn't even film Raya potty training. We just potty trained Raya. We're in the middle of it right now. Like, so it's just weird, you know, like MTV obviously doesn't film everything and they kind of find what's interesting. And it's weird. Like, we film a lot, but they decide to air whatever they want to air. So, I don't know. It's just weird. So I figured it'd be nice to kind of give a little glimpse of just like normal day-to-day stuff. And yeah, so the life of a girl dad, you know. Yeah, I line them all up, brush, you know, all their hair and stuff. Like,
and I think that's something that we need to consider. Like a lot of people bashed Chelsea. Why do you still talk about Adam? You know, Macy, you know, I think she's still in love with Ryan, which she might be. She might be. I'm not saying, you know, but like it's because, you know, years down the line, they're still talking about them on TV. And we're like, dude, Aubrey don't like why are you talking about Adam? Like he ain't even around. Aubrey don't even see him. She goes to Donna's house. Like why? But it's because that's what production wants. Production is like, so when's the last time Adam was around? So then they film her. We haven't heard from Adam and blah 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 blah. And it's like, but it doesn't show them starting the conversation. It doesn't show them saying, yeah, that's why she left. That's one of the reasons why she left is because uh Kale has said this, Chelsea has said this. Who else? I know them two specifically have said that the show, oh, Macy even said this, that the show did not want to focus on the good stuff in their life, the fact that they had other kids that were involved in, you know, like even like Bentley Sports. Like the show, no, they didn't want to focus. All the show wanted to focus on was Ryan and his issues, how they're co-parent, how she's co-parented with Jen and Larry, how she feels about Ryan. Do you think Ryan is sober? Like they would set up for her to go to these lunches, you know, and tell her friend. So ask Macy, do you think Ryan's sober? You know what I'm saying? Like to get that conversation started. Like, well, how's Ryan doing? Make sure you ask Macy, how's Ryan doing? You know, to start these conversations. And then like we, the people watching, we're wondering like, why you like move on? Like talk about something else. And we're commenting that on their social media pages, like, why you constantly talk about Ryan? Like, why you constantly talk about Adam? Like, and they're sitting there like, I don't want to. Try not to. Ask them to film something else. Told them about X, Y, and Z. Told them that Chelsea had this, that Aubrey had this going on. to come film this. They don't want to film it. Told them that Bentley had I mean, do you guys remember when Macy threatened to quit? Macy was like, I'm going to quit if Ryan continues to be on the show and if all you guys want me to do is talk about Ryan. And so the network let Ryan, Mackenzie, Jen, and Larry go. And then they actually started filming a little something else outside of just talking about Ryan. But it quickly went back to that. But they did start like her PCOS and stuff like that. They did start focusing a little bit on that. But it quickly went back to like Ryan and stuff. And then Ryan came back to the show. But that's what, none of us knew that until they started saying that. That like Kale was like, all they want to focus on is like baby daddy drama. They don't want to focus on the good stuff that I'm doing, the businesses that I'm starting, and my house that I'm building. Like they don't want to focus on that. All they want me to talk about is Chris and Javi and Joe. I'm like, I don't want to talk about Javi because we got issues. Can't talk about Chris. Like he's threatening me with legal action, or like I think she was actually told she couldn't. I think there may have been an RO at one point where legally she couldn't, because I remember her saying, I can't talk about him. So there's just so much that I feel like that they get so much hate for that we don't like. I didn't consider it until they started talking about it,
And it's so normal to me that the response is a little like surprising, kind of like overwhelming. I was like, dang, man, like I just thought this was like normal stuff that most dads do, but whatever. Yeah, but I don't know. I really appreciate it because I feel like we've been I don't know. We've been getting a lot of hate lately, and it's fine. It's okay. Everyone can hate us. It's fine. It's fine. But it was nice to see a little bit of a difference there. So that was great. Yeah, and I also want to like, hey, man, like dads are important too. We're also parents. Like, so yeah. I mean, I think it's weird that people were commenting about Cate when I'm just getting the girl ready for school. Like it was weird to me, but I hope everyone's liking the podcast. I mean, we're the numbers are overwhelming. Honestly, like it's crazy. Didn't really expect to be pulling numbers like that. But
I wish I knew what their numbers were.
It's wild. I'm very, very appreciative, very grateful. I feel very blessed to just have this life that I have. I mean, I get to raise these 3 beautiful kids, and I have a beautiful wife that loves me, and I love her, and it's great. I mean, I really honestly couldn't ask for anything more. So I know MTV likes to focus on other stuff, obviously, but and there's going to be some stuff that's airing later on in the season that we can't control what was filmed months ago. So you're going to see some stuff when our emotions are all high and raw and whatever. But I just want to reiterate moving forward that we've spoken our truth. We have nothing else to really say about our own adoption experience, and moving forward, we're just going to focus on advocacy for adoptees and raising their voices. And I can't wait for you guys to see or hear the next podcast. We interview Gretchen Sisson, who is the author of Relinquished.
I'm so sorry, Bree. It's been crazy over here too. That's why I didn't message you the thing this morning, but I'll try to do that this afternoon. I hope your kiddo feels better.
And if you haven't read that book, you really should. It's an amazing, updated, kind of modern, educational kind of gives you all the information about how adoption runs in the country of the United States of America. And it's very different from other countries. So I can't wait for that podcast to come out. And I think one thing that I want to mention is just like, when we are talking about adoption in general, I would like to ask people to don't associate it that we're talking about our own. If I talk to you about a adoption statistic or something, that has nothing to do with our personal adoption. So I feel like when we talk about certain stuff, people are like, well, you stop talking about it and stop bashing. It's like, oh, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just talking about adoption in general. So stop associating it with our own story. I mean, we're just talking education wise and in information. So like, don't get it confused, I guess. So, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff brewing. A lot of stuff going on. I have an interview here pretty soon I got to go to. And hopefully it goes pretty good. Starting online training with clients here pretty soon. So I'm just excited. You know, life's moving. It's moving good. But yeah, I just thought it'd be nice to kind of get on here and give you guys a little update. Let you guys ask some questions if that's what I can't. You got, and oh, by the way, guys, these comments, bro. I mean, let's see.
Their podcast does have it's rated 5 stars on
The thing I hear a
several.
lot when people say me with my kids when they were young, they would say, "Wow, you have your hands full." But a man in the same situation get complimented for the same thing. Okay, so I was just saying this. I commented to somebody, I can't remember who it was, but I responded and I said, you know, it's weird that like no, I feel like no other mom would get praise or applause for getting their kids ready for school. So why are we doing this to dads? Why are we like, I think the standard of dads has got to be pretty low if we're like, I mean, it was just weird. It was very
Oh, so I think he's about to cuss, guys. I think he's about to cuss.
weird to me. I was like, wow, this is interesting. And I just kept thinking about my own mom. Like, no one applauded her when she got all of us ready for school as a single mom. No one, you know what I mean? Like, it was weird. It was like, dude, are we not like, I think we should raise the bar a little bit for the dads out there and the husbands. I mean, goddamn. And then people saying like, oh, she's probably sleeping. It's like, yeah, my wife is sleeping in. I get the mornings and she does the nights. What's the problem? You know, like, why is that a bad thing? I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, but I agree with you. I think it's strange.
I saw that, Colby. I did see that earlier. I saw that.
Let's see I'm trying to go through all the questions here. Let's see. How do you get past the bitterness from PTSD from childhood? I'm struggling. Well, I'm sorry that you're struggling.
The way he says PTSD is, I'm like, maybe it's an accent.
And I think PTSD is a whole, like, it's a very specific thing to have. I don't have PTSD. Cate was diagnosed with PTSD her first round of treatment. And I think it was interesting because they told her that, you know, adoption was a traumatic event. And that was the first time she called me and she's like, hey,
Ashley, you've been a member for 3 months. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a Michigan thing. Okay. Because I was like, it sounds like he's like saying it as a word and not necessarily, but listen, I'm not one to call nobody out for pronouncing anything wrong. And I'm not saying that's what he's doing. I just thought the way that he pronounced it was weird. Different than any way I've ever heard it. PTSD. PTSD? Is he saying like PTSD? Like when I first heard him, I was like, and I'm like, wait, am I saying it wrong? And then I'm like, I say PTSD. But maybe, but listen, I'm not calling nobody out for saying anything wrong because you will catch me mispronouncing stuff on a regular, okay? Like on purpose, on accident. Like some words, I know what they are, but reading through them. I remember one time I was younger and it was the word infamy. No, it was infamous. It was infamous. And I was reading something to my sister and I was probably, I don't know, like 15, maybe younger. And I knew the word was infamous. But I legit said infamous. And I was like, she was like, infamous? I was like, yeah, that's what it is. My bad. So I'm not calling anybody out for saying anything wrong or pronouncing it wrong. I was just curious, like, Is it different? Like, is he saying it different than like? Is that a Michigan thing? Is it an accent? Okay,
My
Ashton.
therapist told me that our adoption was traumatic. And I'm like, okay. And I think it's something that me and Cate probably didn't realize, you know, because we were so young, that it was a traumatic event. But
I have no doubt I have PTSD. What's so crazy is when I become an adult and got married, I thought I had like a really great childhood. And not saying that I didn't have a lot of great things in my childhood that it's like great, great parents. My dad wasn't there at first, but we become close after I started having kids. But my stepdad was like a wonderful man, but my mom worked really hard. But I was sexually assaulted, more than once. I was raped, so I had things that happened. But you know what's crazy is my worst PTSD came out when I become an adult. Something that happened to me that I had a nightmare about it last night, and I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and could not go back to sleep due to the trauma that that situation caused me. Um, Now I've not been diagnosed, but when I did go to therapy one time, the therapist was like, "You are probably affected worse than anybody out of this whole situation because you remember everything that happened versus like the person that it happened to doesn't." Um, so I have no doubt. I don't want to sit here and diagnose myself, but I'm pretty sure, I do. Um, we start purging trauma around 38 years old. Is that, dude? Like, I honestly did not know. Like, when I would tell my husband about things, like when I was little, he'd be like, "What? That really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I bet that's why, you didn't do this when we got together. I bet that's why you weren't very affectionate when we got together. I bet that's," and I was like, hmm, maybe so. Like, when I got with Sean, like, I did not think I had any trauma, nothing. Like, I was like, everybody has something, nobody's child is perfect. Everybody got something that like they grow up and they're like, oh, that sucked. You know what I'm saying? So I had a couple of those, but I thought for the most part, like, good childhood. I didn't even know we were poor. Maybe I was just an idiot kid, because like I didn't even know I was poor until like I got old enough to like notice that like, okay, yeah, we wore like some atrocious clothes to school. Our kindergarten pictures, like we're on a beat up white tennis shoes, like I was like, but I didn't notice it. Like I really didn't until we got older. Like, and I would tell my husband about things and he would be like, that's probably why you're this way about that. Or that's probably why you are the way you are about the kids. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Probably so. Um, I'm at EM. What does EMDR stand for? I know you're in therapy, but I know what it stands for. Thank you, Colby. Thank you. Oh man, Colby. That was one thing that was a fear of mine when that happened, but praise God that didn't happen. I don't even know how I would have dealt with that if that would have been the case. Yeah, Sean is like, you know, good at the ponytail, but he hasn't mastered it yet.
Cate's like, yeah, she would say stuff in the therapy session about how, oh, I chose adoption, but, and it was sad, but, and the therapist is like, stop saying but, just sit with it. It was sad. It was hard. It was difficult. Boom, boom. Like,
Yeah.
don't try to justify it. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. The bitterness, I think for me, like I do a lot of meditating and
Oh no,
grounding work and shadow work. And I feel like for me, I was bitter for a long time too for my childhood stuff, but I feel like
that's so crazy because I was not.
I was able to shift that bitterness into gratitude. And I know that sounds really weird to have gratitude for struggles and like trauma and stuff, but um I mean that's why I had this tattoo, suffering builds character on my arm, because it's like my thing. It reminds me that suffering does build character, and it's not necessary to build my character, but it was part of it. And I think it's part of a lot of people. And I feel like I can sit here and I can be super bitter. or I can be grateful that I had an experience that shaped my character and my development and my progression as a human being. So I feel like like you get to get over the anger part, and I think people vilify anger as an emotion a lot. Like anger is just as important as sadness and happiness. I mean, it's an emotion. So like you need to honor it. And there's ways to do it. Like I write a lot, and when I'm mad, I'll write like aggressively. I'll swear a lot, and I'll just whatever. And then I'll meditate on it, and I feel a lot better. And I also think trying to just, like I said, shift that perspective of not everybody gets a luxury to live a life that's long enough to experience certain things, bad or good. So try to find the gratitude in it. I feel like is probably my best advice. Other questions. There's a lot. Holy crap. Let's see.
I would love to get him and Cate on my channel, or even just him to ask them
I guess
questions.
we'll do this one. How did you guys go through the struggles of your adoption? I've actually gotten, someone brought this up to me in this group that said, you know, it wasn't your adoption, it was your daughter's. And I was like, whoa, like I never thought about that before. So I like to, I'm trying to shift my language, as in like, instead of saying, oh, my adoption experience, because I'm not an adoptee. So I wasn't adopted. So it's not really my adoption experience. I think I'm going to shift it more to say my relinquishing experience. I'm a birth parent, and I relinquished a baby. You know, I wasn't adopted. So I'm trying to like, you know, get that language down. It's all a work in progress too. Like I feel like people like, some people can be very like aggressive with their terminology, and like if you get something wrong or right, we're all learning. I think everyone deserves a little grace when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I think the struggles of my relinquishing experience as a birth father have a lot to do with obviously just being young and naive, and I think it comes down to like just accepting the fact that I wasn't worthy. And I think people get really defensive, not defensive, they get protective, I would say, when I say I was not worthy of her, and I'm not worthy of her. And they're like, well, stop, you were, oh my gosh. And I feel I understand what they're saying, and I understand, and I appreciate them trying to like, I appreciate it. But at the same time, I wasn't worthy of her. You know, I was 16, I was naive, I was young, I was, you know, I had so much growing up to do. And she was innocent, and she didn't ask to be here. And so I think just accepting the fact that I wasn't worthy, and that's okay. You're not going to be worthy for a lot of things. You're not going to be worthy for specific people, and those aren't, it's fine. It just comes down to like, okay, well, how can I work on that? How can I make myself be more worthy the next time or whatever? So
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think going through the struggles of me relinquishing pushed me to kind of do my own therapy and kind of get down to the bottom line of like why I operate the way I do. And I'm still doing that. I mean, I'm supposed to go get tested for autism here pretty soon. So, and I'm almost scared to like go do the final tests, even though it'll make a lot of sense to me. I mean, obviously I had ADHD my whole life as a kid, and yeah, and so, and obviously getting diagnosed with bipolar, which I'm still like, I don't know about all that. It gets misdiagnosed a lot, so I will probably have to go do this final autism test and see what's going on. But anyway,
that's interesting.
I think going through the struggles of my relinquishing was part of my journey, and it was necessary for growth. So that's kind of how I got through it, I feel.
I just checked it. We're going to do that. Thank you.
Let's see. This is a good question. How do you make sure each of your children get their emotional tanks full? Specifically, how do you make sure they aren't jealous of each other? That's a great question. So I do this thing called, we do a thing called Nova Day, and a Veda Day, and now a Raya Day. And that's when I'll take them on a little date. Like I'll take Nova to the movies and we'll go out to eat, and it's just me and her. And then we'll go to Target because she loves to go to Target, and we'll like get something from Target. I do the same thing with Veda, and eventually I'll do the same thing with Raya. Right now, Raya's more of like, just go to the park and get an ice cream cone. But that'll probably change. But I do make sure to do stuff by themselves individually. I think it's super important. And like, to be honest with you, like me and Nova talk a lot. Like we have very deep, intense conversations. And she always tells me afterward, thanks for talking to me, Dad. And thanks for telling me that. And thanks for helping me learn how to, draw and just all this stuff. Like, and so I feel like I have little special things with each of the children. Like, Nova, it's artistic and drawing, and Beta, right now we're playing mermaid Barbies, and that's like our thing. And so, and then Raya is, we're just in the middle of just like doing a whole bunch of stuff, potty training and playing with her little toys, trying to teach her how to skate on her little skates. So like, yeah, I mean, 3 kids, 2 parents, you're not going to get it right all the time. And I'm pretty sure there's days.
He's not. No. And not wanting to get diagnosed for, he says he has ADHD, and he's been diagnosed with ADHD, bipolar. He says, and I'm not sure about that, but he's already taken one step for to be tested for autism. He's got to take the last step of it. So there's like 2. I know for me it was 2 separate parts to be diagnosed. Like first for my son, we had to go to his pediatrician, talk to his pediatrician. We had to fill out a form. If they're in school, you give it to their teachers. They fill out a form. Once you bring it back to your pediatrician, they go through, and if it like meets a certain criteria, they will pass it on. They'll say yes, they could potentially be autistic, and then you have to go and you have to meet with several doctors that will observe your child. Like for me, I had to go sit in an office with one doctor while my child sat in a room with all these other doctors that played with them, and like I don't even remember, like it was like 4 or 5 different people that like just watched my son play and played with my son, and in this room while I talked to another doctor, and they just kind of watched him talk to him, and that's how he got his diagnosis. So what he's saying is he's not saying, and I do feel like some people just, and I've seen this, it's not that I think this, I've seen this, that it's like no matter what him and Cate do, like they could save a baby out of a burning building. There could be like Tyler could be scrolling, like walking by a house on fire, and he could hear a cry, and he could run in and save that baby. And people would be like, well, why wasn't he running faster? Was there animals in there? Did he make sure that, like, it for them? I feel like there's some people that no matter what he does or says, they find something wrong with it. Like he posted a video of him showing, like, listen, I'm sorry that all MTV shows y'all is us talking about adoption and Brandon and Teresa and Carly, but that's not all of our life. Like we do a lot, and I don't defend them no matter what. Actually, I do not. Just like Tyler made a post about, not wanting people to bring up God to him. And I don't like the way he did that. I do not defend them no matter what. As a matter of fact, you can go through my videos and you will see where I'll say, I don't think they should be talking about this. I mean, literally for the longest, I was like, they need to be quiet. I believe everybody has a right to tell their story, but when it comes to it potentially hurting your like hurting someone, especially, here's the thing. If I was to say, especially when it comes to you hurting your child, everybody be okay. But like, I don't think Cate and Ty should be talking about. I believe everybody has a right to tell their story about what they went through, especially childhood, whatever, unless it is affecting your children. Nobody would. But if I say in any other context, like, that's not their child, it's not their child. Like, stop saying their child. I'm just like, listen, That is their biological child, not their not the child that they raised. And there is absolutely a difference because listen, I have two children that their bio dad did nothing, but their stepdad did everything. He is their dad. And but I can't, I can't be like, oh, when if he comes around and he says, my daughter, my son, because I'm like, oh, at the end of the day, like whatever, biologically, yeah, you ain't been there and you don't deserve the title, but yeah, okay, whatever. So biologically, that is their child. I do not defend them. As a matter of fact, up until I talked to sources that told me different, that told me that this is not what Carly wants, and that a lot of the reason they shut it down was due to their political beliefs. They did not like the fact that Caitlin and Tyler supported the LGBTQ. They did not like the fact that Caitlin and Tyler were liberals and that Tyler was outspoken against like the current administration. Up until I heard that, I was like, they just need to be quiet. They just need to be quiet. And even still, I'm like, listen, email her to a private email account that you have set up for her. That way, when she comes to you, if she ever does, and she's like, why did y'all forget about me? Why did y'all just stop talking about me? Why did y'all stop reaching out to me? You can say, here, actually, we never did. If she ever comes and says, well, why did y'all just cut me off? And they're like, oh, we didn't. Your parents told us to stop reaching out to you. And if Carly's like, what? I didn't know that. Like, they told me y'all just stopped. Well, then you'll have that proof to say, no, here, see, we emailed this account all the time, and here's all the gifts that we bought you through years, whatever. So I'm like, I believe in doing that. I think that's what they probably should have been doing for a long time. So I do not blindly support them. I do not blindly defend them. However, as somebody that covers them, so I'm constantly watching what they post and I'm constantly reading the chat and I'm constantly reading their comments. And when I make a post on TikTok and I'm reading my comments, I see the people that no matter what, it doesn't matter, no matter what they say, people are not going to change their. Some people will not. Some will be like, okay, that makes sense. Some's like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like I said, Tyler could save a baby out of a burning building, and they would be like, well, did you check to make sure there wasn't animals in there? Like it just doesn't matter. I do, and I've always felt like everybody has a right to share their story about their life, their childhood, their teen pregnancy, their this, their that, unless it affects your children. Because your children, like, I also don't believe in their OnlyFans. I also am not a fan of their OnlyFans, and I've talked about that. I've said they have children, like they need to consider that. But that's where our opinions completely differ when it comes to OnlyFans. Because Caitlin and Tyler have said before, like they are all about body positivity, and they said that if their daughters wanted to grow up and show their bodies off, like they would be fine with it. Like if their daughters wanted to grow up and take, once they get over the age of whatever, 18, 21, like if they wanted to take pictures and like have sexy photos or whatever on OnlyFans, like that would be their prerogative. Like if my daughter turned 18 and I found out she had OnlyFans, I would have a discussion with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I do not agree with them with everything. Absolutely not. But when I do, I'll make it known. I'll say, this is how I feel about it. And I think that's being authentic. I think that's being, I'm not going to get on here and because the majority of people hate Caitlin and Tyler, act like I hate them. Like, because I've watched the show. As a matter of fact, I've watched their episode of 16 and Pregnant so many times in the past year, just covering them. I've had to like go back and watch it, make sure I know what's happening, go back and watch it for clips, go back and watch it for this. Like I've watched it so many times. As a matter of fact, when I was going through my phone the other day, I deleted so many clips from Caitlin and Tyler because I have so much of it. So I do not defend them over everything. If I disagree with something, I'll say that. And if you go back and watch my videos, you will absolutely hear me saying, I believe everybody has a right to tell their story. However, if it's and I said it just like this, at the possible thought, any possible thought that it could be upsetting Carly, that they are speaking out, they should not do it. I have things that I would love to share with people, some of my longtime viewers on here, but it's not just concerning me. It's concerning my family and my kids. And so I don't, because it's not just me that's involved. So if it was just, if Caitlin and Tyler had Carly, if they would have kept Carly, so they continued to talk about 16 and pregnant and what it was like to be 16 and pregnant, living, in a flea infested house with drug addicted parents, and Carly, who lived with them, didn't mind, I'm all for it. Do your thing. But they don't know how she feels. I know what I was told. But at the end of the day, could it be that somebody that knows them flipped the script for me and told me one thing? Possible. I can tell you, when I get sources, I try my best to verify them as much as possible. And when I had a source come to me and said, "This is what I know," and they said, "I can verify it because I know this, this, and I said, "I don't even know those things. I don't know X, Y, and Z about them." And they was like, "Caitlin, if you can get me to Caitlin, I can verify it to her," which is what I did. I sent that person to Caitlin. I ended up reaching out to Caitlin and said, "This person, did you talk to them?" "Yep." "Can you verify that they know?" Yeah, they knew things that they shouldn't have known. And that person sent me pictures of Carly that had never posted out there, that I was not going to post, did not post, would never post. So I was like, okay, this is a source that I think has been verified, that told me. And that's where my opinion started to shift a little bit. And to doing what I do now gives me a little bit more insight into things, right? Because people can be like, all you do is sit around and talk on social media. Do you ever tell your 6 kids, And I would be like, wow, like just because you get a couple of hours of my time, like you think I don't tend to my kids, like you think it. So that's what I'm saying, like that we don't really think about. Like they film for a few months, but at the end of the day, if we really totaled up how much time we saw into their lives, it would probably be an hour or two out of a year. But yet we're going to tell them they're not spending time with their other kids. Well, it doesn't make any sense. Because if you follow them on social media, you'll see that they do. You'll see that they're taking their kids to the zoo. You'll see that they're going to competitions for Nova's gymnastics. Like you'll see that they absolutely spend time with their kids. They're stay-at-home parents for the most part. Like their jobs consist of them like at home for the most part, except now the podcast. I think they do travel for the podcast. They travel. Their first few episodes, they went to Tennessee. Did the podcast, recorded literally like 4 or 5 or 6 episodes, and then flew back home. Yeah, I don't just. It sucks that people think that because that's just not the case. But let's continue listening because after this, we're going to talk about Janelle Evans' drama going on with her.
Where Nova feels like she's left out or Raya does, and I just try to balance it as best as I can. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But yeah, I try to make sure they have their own days. I think that's really special outside their birthdays. And I have them a couple times a year. I don't think it should be anything specific. It's just like, "Hey, Noah, you want to have a Noah day today?" And she's like, "Yeah." And yeah, so that's what I do. But let's see.
Oh, Ashley, I'm sorry.
A good question. Okay. What would you recommend a couple that wants to adopt in the eyes of a respectful relationship with their birth parents?
I'm just going to say if my mama did, and this is, listen, everybody ain't like me, and that's fine. But if my mama was a young mom as well, but if she would have started an only, and my mama, she worked hard to take care of us kids, but if she would have had an OnlyFans and I would have been seeing her legs spread up on the book of faces, hell no, I would have called her and been like, "You don't even have to take care of me. Don't take care of me. If that's what you got to do to take care of me, I'll get a job doing something. Do not do that." And let me tell you guys, because I do have sources. And do you know how many times I've been told by my sources how it affected Marissa and Jace for Janelle to be on OnlyFans? Just Google Janelle Evans OnlyFans and the pictures that'll pop up. You ain't even got to subscribe to it. And the pictures that you'll find of her, full boobs out, and they literally got teased about it. And they literally told people, "We get teased about it. We don't like her doing it." These people went to Janelle and was like, "They're getting teased." And she literally was like, "They're lying. No, they're not. They don't mind spending the money that I make from it. They're lying." Listen, everybody can do their own thing. People are adults. They can do their own thing. But I know how I would feel if I saw my mama on Google with her Brittany hanging out. And I can't even imagine how my kids would feel if they saw me do something like that. They'll never, ever have to worry about that.
So obviously that would be considered an open adoption, in which I believe that I think all adoptions should be open. It's ethical.
I I agree.
And that's kind of the whole, especially, and specifically, I'm talking about private infant adoption, not foster care, youth, or anything like that, or kinship, not a step parent adoption or anything like that. I'm talking about private infant adoption. Yeah, I think, like I said before, which people get really upset when I say this, I think it's important to ask yourself the question of, do you want a baby or do you want to be a parent? Because you don't need a baby in order to be a parent. And I think if you have a hard time answering that question, I don't think you should adopt. I think you should wait. I think you should do some more therapy revolving around the reasons why you're wanting to adopt in the first place, and really narrow that intention and reasoning down. Because I want people to understand that regardless if an adoptee acknowledges their trauma or their trauma manifests externally, internally, trauma happened as a baby. That you can't get around it. Maternal separation trauma is very real. They've done studies on babies' brains of the cortisol level rising, stress, because they don't have the smell of their mother and all that. So just research, read a lot of books. The Primal Wound, Relinquish, Adoption Unfiltered. These are some books that I think all adoptive parents, prospective adoptive parents should read. And then, like I said, really get into therapy and really just figure out, where it's stemming from, where this desire is coming from. Is it because you can't have them naturally? Is it because you're scared of going through the pregnancy yourself, or whatever the reason is? And I think it's interesting because people get upset when I suggest that, but the reason why is because it's inevitable. No baby, I want this to be very clear, no baby is a blank slate. You can't just get a baby. I don't care if the woman delivers the baby and hands the baby right to you and you immediately start feeding the baby. That baby is having maternal separation trauma in the brain. They recorded this, they found it, it's science. And so understand that when you are adopting, you are getting a baby that's inevitably traumatized. And that requires a special type of care. And it requires a lot of selfless introspection and understanding that you have kind of a higher responsibility, because you are getting a baby that's traumatized and yeah. So I mean, just understand that, I guess. Oh, my cat. Shadow, what are you doing, Shadow? This is my cat. Shadow. All right. Yeah. So I mean, I think, and also just research the agency you're using. And honestly, and people get upset about this too, but adoption is not designed for a family building tool. You understand? Adoption is designed for children in detrimental crisis who cannot stay with the family of origin or kinship. I mean, it is not designed for people who can't have babies to have babies. Do you know what I mean? It's not designed for that. It is designed to provide safe external care for kids who are in detrimental crises and temporary crises. So I have a hard time finding it to be very ethical if you're building your family off of somebody else's crisis, both the birth parent and the adoptee. Like, I think it's, and then honestly, participating in any industry that commodifies children. I mean, it costs $50,000 to adopt a baby from an agency. So why? You know what I mean? Why does it cost that much money? And we're the only country that does it. So anyway, I mean, prospective adoptive parents, just really do your homework. Yeah, before you make that decision. But I gotta go. I got my interview pretty soon, so wish me luck. Hopefully I get hope I get this job as a trainer. I'm excited for it. I've worked hard, I've studied for it, and I can't wait to help people kind of reach their fitness goals and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate everybody coming on here and talking with me at 9 o'clock in the morning. Maybe I'll do it again later on today, but I appreciate you guys. Much love. Have a good one.
Peace. So anyways, I thought that was interesting. Here's the thing. I've looked into some of the things that he said. I follow a few adoptee creators just to hear more because I feel like the only opinion I can have is based off limited information, really, because I'm not an adoptee. There was a time that my husband considered adopting my two children, my older kids, because their dad was just not really around. And we did consider that because he has raised them, but their dad would not sign off on it. He would not okay it, despite the fact that he was like so in and out. And two, I was like, you know what? Like, if it's not something that they're asking me to do, I'm not going to do that. If they come to me and they're like, you know what, our bio dad's not around, can Sean adopt us? We want his last name, and we would rather. Then I would look more into it and maybe pushed it a little bit. But their dad was not around, and we considered it just because. Well, kind of like the situation with Gary and Christina. It was like, if I die, like, is my two kids going to be yanked out of the home that they're used to living in with their other siblings to be, to have to live with their dad, who is literally like still being raised by mama? You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of one of those things. The reason why we looked into it, but we ended up not doing it. And now my daughter's 20 and my son is 17. And thankfully, there's never been an issue to where that's needed to really come into play to where, I'm still here. So, but I don't even feel like that would be the same, in my opinion. Like, if my husband would have adopted them, like, would it be some form of adoption? Sure, but that would be I feel like I could maybe know a little bit more about that, but not like what they went through. So that's why I started following adoptees, just to hear like what they have to say and hear how they feel. One thing I realized from listening to adoptees is like no one adoptee feels the exact same. No one adoptee feels the exact same. Like, you might find a couple that feel pretty similar, but you might find, they may be pretty similar, but then one may have more of an issue with like their bio parents versus the other one. So it's just such, it's a topic that there's just, I don't know. It's like you can't have a right or wrong answer, because I might could say one thing and there might be one adoptee that might agree with me, but there may be 50 that don't. And that may tell me, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not an adoptee. Like, your opinion doesn't matter. And I agree, my opinion doesn't matter because I'm not an adoptee. So either way, I do follow several to just kind of see, how they feel about the stuff that he says too. And they do have a lot of, Cate and Ty do have a lot of friends that are adoptees. They have a lot that are, and then they have some that don't like them, which once again just kind of shows you that it's such a spectrum of how people feel, how adoptees feel. Yes, it's billions of dollars. It is. I want to say they said the adoption agency that they went through with Carly, what was it, like 80 something billion or maybe million? I think he's saying this now because he just realized this. He just learned this at 17. He had no idea, which is why they did it. I think if Tyler would have known at 17 what he knows now, he probably wouldn't have went that route. So he's saying it now. I mean, it's not going to change the fact that somebody else is raising his kid. It's not like he's going to be able to get the kid back. It's not like it's going to like, oh, kid's half grown now, raised her through the hard part. I'm going to change my opinion and she's going to get to come back to me. No, that child's staying with her family and will be there until she's 18, and even maybe longer than that. She may never decide to come to Cate and Ty. She may always be right there with Brandon and Teresa and may never come to them. Or she may come to them at some point. She may, maybe the second she's 18, maybe when she's 20, maybe when she's 30, maybe never, but I just think, and, he said, him and Caitlin both said that they are grateful they just didn't know about all this. You know, they just didn't know. They didn't have all the information. They were 17. I mean, God, if I knew everything that I know now at 17, my life probably would have turned out a lot different too, you know? But I don't think that you should say, well, I shouldn't say this because of what I went through at that age. Because, you know, somebody else raised my kids, so I shouldn't say how I feel now because, well, people may think this. You know what I'm saying? So close. Yes, Colby's so close. Anyways, you guys, I always feel like there's some interesting things you can take away from it. I feel like Cate and Ty with some people is almost like Janelle. You know what I'm saying? Like for some people, no matter what Janelle does, like just can't nobody's gonna like her. Um, and I feel like that is some like for them as well. Like for Cate and Ty, no matter what they do, some people like it just isn't gonna matter. They're just not gonna like them, you know. Yes, they are friends again. Yes, Tori and Janelle are friends again. Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. Leave me your thoughts about Tyler's live. I do think he has great points, and it made me really think about it as well. That just because we hear them on a podcast, that they intentionally filmed, like the podcast that they filmed with Jordy McRae was intentional. It was that's what they were going to talk about, the adoption. Also, when we see them on Teen Mom, producers intentionally bring up adoption, right? So like, yeah, it may seem like all we hear them talk about is adoption and you know, Brandon and Teresa and Carly, but they're like, dude, there is so much in our lives that y'all don't see. Like I had no idea that Tyler was training to be a personal trainer. I mean, I knew that he worked out a lot, but I did not know he was like going to school for it, a training or whatever. And he become a personal trainer. He's got a certification to be a personal trainer, and he had a an interview at the gym. I did. I'm going to do that next. Yeah, Nova's a cheerleader, so like they go on vacations, and like you know, I was told that after the photos came out, one of my sources was like, um, they did reach out to see, like, not through, not to directly to Teresa, but they was like, I hope she's okay. Like, I hope Teresa's okay. Like, how is Teresa dealing with this? I hope she's okay. Like, can't imagine how Teresa, like, I hope they're okay. So, like, even with all this hate that they're getting and these photos leaking, my source told me that Cate and Ty was concerned about how this was affecting Brandon and Teresa. But anyway, you guys, going to go ahead and close this one out. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Nova does compete. Yes, we're gonna go live after this because Janelle Evans has been living life up this weekend, you guys. Even today, she posted her story, a Victoria's Secret bag, because she's gonna be posting OnlyFans content very soon. However, it was Friday night, either Friday night or Saturday. She called the cops on Jace because Jace tore up the house again and flipped out. And she wanted Jace to be put on a 72-hour hold in I think, a mental facility. I just got the email, so I was trying to read it while we were on this live. Let me get all the information on that. Reach out to some of my sources to see if I can get any more information. And we'll be back here again to talk about that. Give me an hour, you guys. Like, share, subscribe, and join me back here in an hour to go over. We do have the 911 call, so we're going to listen to that, and we're going to talk about what went down. Bye, guys.